So welcome to day 2 of the path of meditation. As we start to dive deeper into the mindfulness meditation practice, I wanted to really start with this idea that mindfulness is made up of calm abiding and special insight. And that while some meditation traditions um, will combine these two different aspects of meditation, within um, other traditions, it's more of a progression. It's more of a start with calm abiding, which then leads us into more practices of insight. Specifically, this is done because it's very challenging to develop that insight if there isn't calm abiding happening. And we can even take this out of the context of meditation and think about it as far as, um, working with psychedelics or just the nervous system in general. That if we can't just sit and feel comfortable within our body, within our present moment, it's very challenging to do deeper work or to um, get quiet and reflective and contemplate our situation. In fact, maybe that's one appeal of working with psychedelics is that we can kind of override our normal state into having an experience of some sort of insight or direct experience without that calm abiding. But if we can have calm abiding or just feel comfortable and calm in the present moment, how much better is that going to be for not only our daily, you know, way that we're living, but also when we're doing deeper work, whether that's with breath work or psychedelics in these expanded states of consciousness. So today I wanted to share a practice from one of the people that I consider to be one of my first teachers of meditation, Thich Nhat Hahn. When I first started discovering and exploring Buddhism, Thich Nhat Hanh's work was there. I was fortunate enough to get to see him teach one time a really long time ago. And he has many, many books. The meditation that I'm going to be sharing today comes from this book behind me, The Blooming of the Lotus, which is filled with a bunch of different guided meditations, all really focused on this very core teaching uh, of developing mindfulness and the different types of mindfulness that can be developed. So today we're just going to go through a very simple practice to help you calm the breath and calm the mind. So go ahead and take your position. And again, you could lay down if it feels right and you're not going to go to sleep, but sitting on a chair or on a cushion, allowing your back to be straight, putting your hands on your knees or in your lap, letting the shoulders fall away from the ears, placing the tip of the tongue at the back of the two front teeth where they meet the roof of the mouth. And just going through a quick scan, just making sure that there's no extra tension anywhere else in the body. And if there is, just seeing if you can let go of it. And you might close your eyes or leave the gaze open, not really looking at anything, but 4 to 6 feet in front of you. Just starting to bring your attention to your breathing. Noticing that perhaps here in this moment, you don't even have to change your breath, but just taking this posture and having the intention to sit down and to practice starts to relax your breathing in and of itself. And just allowing these words to absorb into you, noticing what happens. As you hear them, you may want to repeat them to yourself. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. And so, if you're doing this meditation on your own, you can really find your own pace. You might want to repeat those words with each breath. You might want to allow them to fade in your mind, almost like the sound of a bell is the loudest at the very beginning and then just naturally fades away. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Breathing in, my breath grows deeper. Breathing out, my breath grows slower. Breathing in, my breath grows deeper. Breathing out, my breath grows slower. And you might even shorten it. In, out. Deep, slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Calm, ease. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, Smile. Release. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, it is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, it is a wonderful moment. And allow yourself to stay here for as long as it feels comfortable. You might pause the meditation if you want to stay here a little bit longer. When you feel ready, allowing your eyes to open, taking one last big breath in and out. And just notice how you feel. Notice how your experience has shifted. So when we calm the breath, it naturally calms the body. And when we calm the body, it naturally calms the mind. And so this is a very simple way to start to develop this habit of mindfulness. Because let's face it, it's wonderful to have this goal of being able to sit and just watch my breath for as long as I want. But I know when I first started, I found this incredibly challenging. And using techniques like this was something that helped me start to develop that quality of just being able to sit with myself, even if my inside experience was not what I would consider calm abiding. So there's some traditions where we might even simplify this and just count the breath itself. And that's what I did when I first started, before I started, becoming familiar with traditions like the Vietnamese Zen tradition of Thich Nhat Hahn, of just breathing in one, breathing out two, seeing if I could get to 10. And often it would be about 4 or 5 where I would lose track of what I was doing, or I would start to think and totally get derailed. And then I would just go back to the beginning, starting at 1. So this comes from this tradition of uh, really just focusing purely on mindfulness. And there's a mindfulness sutra. The sutras being the lessons that the Buddha gave to his students, that were then passed down through the oral tradition until people started writing things down. Um, and the mindfulness of the body is the first thing that is developed, or the first sort of way that the Buddha suggested that we develop this quality of mindfulness. And remember, not just mindfulness of our present situation, but mindfulness as a way to get familiar with ourselves and our own experience. So, um, I invite you to practice that, especially if just sitting feels a little bit challenging. And you can always, use some of those cues as a way to help settle your mind during some of the other meditations that we're doing.